Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make 2 thank you cards using oxide inks and embossing folders and holographic papers. So let's get started. I'm going to use a retired die. It's called Hello and Thanks, and then later on I'll use another thanks die that's in the current core catalog. So my first blend, I'm going to use Wilted Violet and Blueprint Sketch. And since I'm blending on a smaller area of cardstock, I'm just going to use 2 colors and I'm going to blend them together. So basically it'll be 3 colors because of the blended area. So I've got this cardstock cut at 5.5 inches by a little over 2 inches. I want it to be just tall enough to fit that thanks die cut comfortably. So now I'm cutting a piece of white daisy at 4.25 by 5.5, and then I'm going to place it in my embossing folder. I'm using the wood plank embossing folder that's in the core catalog, and I'm going to run this through. At first I thought I needed to go on tab 1, but it seemed a little tight, so the next time I run the next piece through, I'm going to change tabs. Okay, so now I'm going to put my oxide piece in my embossing folder, and I'm placing it strategically so that I can layer it over the piece that the white daisy piece that I just embossed. So this is one way to do it, and then the next card, I'll show you another way. Okay. So this should layer and nestle in those same spots from the first run through. So you're just layering the die right over or the embossed piece right over the other embossed piece. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the word thanks with white daisy cardstock, and I'm going to do that twice. And then the next piece I'm going to cut it out again using some of the Oasis holographic paper. I'm going to glue all 3 of these together and layer them. Okay. So it gives my sentiment some dimension and stability by layering all 3. So I'm just going to stack them and glue them. Okay, so that's all done. And now I'm going to start to build my card. So I've got a regular A2 card, which is 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm going to glue my white embossed piece down first, just using Tombow tape runner. So we'll get that layer down. And then I'm going to add my oxide piece, and I'm going to place it so that it fits exactly in those embossed places on the white daisy, like a puzzle piece. So we'll layer that in. And then I've cut 2 strips of the holographic paper. They're about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to glue one of each above and below that oxide piece just for some accent and to finish off those edges. You have to be very careful when you're working with liquid glue and the holographic paper because it can smudge really easily. So I'll show you another option with the next card. But we'll get that down. And then I'm going to add my thanks sentiment. And this time I'm going to put that down using some of the micro glue dots. And to finish things off, I'm going to use a combination of the pink acrylic hearts and some wood hearts. Scatter those around. And then I'm going to add some crystals. These are from PinkFresh Studios. Come in several colors and a bunch of sizes. So I'm going to scatter those around. First, I'm going to attach my wood heart and acrylic heart using the micro glue dots. And then I'll add my crystal gems and scatter a whole bunch of those around. Get those glued down. And then the last step, I'm going to color my wood hearts using some Bluebird shimmer brush. And I'm just going to paint that on to the wood. And it makes it that beautiful bluebird color with lots of shimmer and shine to it. And there's my finished card. I'll have a couple close-ups right here. I love those oxide blended colors. They look so pretty. Okay, let's make another one. Now this time I'm going to use the Thanks Thin Cut from the core catalog along with some vellum. And this embossing folder, it's floral tapestry and it's retired, but there's another floral embossing folder in the core catalog. So I'm going to start out with picked raspberry. And then the next color I'm going to add is abandoned coral. And I'm just going to do the 3 layers and then blend them all together. So I'm just getting color down right now. And then the last color is spiced marmalade. And then I'll start blending the lighter color down into the next one. And then I'll just keep going back and forth until I am happy with the blend. And I think that'll do it. Okay, so I'll get that out of the way. And then I'm going to bring my trimmer in. And I'm going to cut a piece of white daisy cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'll bring my big shot in. Now this time, I'm going to do my embossing folder a little differently. I'm going to go ahead and layer my oxide piece on my white daisy piece and put everything in my embossing folder and run them through together, layered like that already. And that seemed to be just the right amount of pressure to get a good emboss. So now it's already stacked and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to bring a piece of holographic paper in, and this one is called Majestic. I'm going to cut it just large enough to fit my thanks die. And first I'm going to add some double-sided adhesive to it before I run it through with the die. So I'm going to create a sticker. So this one I'm going to use the thinner thanks and cut out the holographic paper. So instead of using liquid glue to layer my letters, I'm going to create stickers. So with the excess that still had the adhesive on it, I'm going to cut my thin strips to border my oxide piece. So those are roughly 1/8 of an inch by 5.5 inches. Okay, so those are also like stickers. Okay, so I did the same exact process with white daisy cardstock. And then I'm going to cut out the layering thanks using some vellum. So that's going to back my my holographic thanks letters. Okay, so now I'm just going to stack everything. I've got the holographic paper letters on top of the white daisy, and then I've layered them onto the vellum to create my thanks word, and then I can start building my card. So I'm going to layer the white daisy piece onto my card base. And then I'll add the oxide piece on top of that. And it will fit into that embossed area just like a puzzle. Get that layered in. And then I'll add those holographic strips, which I've created stickers out of. So they'll just stick down. And then my thanks sentiment, I'm going to add glue just in the areas where the letters cover, so you won't see the glue through the vellum. So I'm just carefully adding dots just in those areas that will be covered up by the letters. And then I'll add that to the front of my card. Get that setting up, and then I'm going to add some of these pink acrylic hearts and some pink crystals from PinkFresh Studios. I'm looking at a couple color choices, but I like this one. So I'm going to scatter a bunch of those around my card along with the pink acrylic hearts. I love the bright colors that the oxides create. And the holographic paper really pops. Okay, so there's my finished card. So all of these supplies are currently available in the core catalog, with the exception of the retired thanks. And I will make a list of supplies with links in the description below. I appreciate you watching my video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.